How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you for having me too. Because I think, you know what, like few weeks, not few weeks, like few months ago, your song like "I Don't Know You Yet," it was like
Hmm.
a big things in TikTok, and I was listening to that song. Then I talked to my friend at the office, and I said like, when are we going to have an interview with him? And
Hmm.
then suddenly the day is coming.
Wow. Well, I'm so happy. I'm so happy we made it happen. Here we are.
I know, right? So yeah, congratulations with your new single, "Hate Me If It Helps." Wow, how does
Thank
it feel?
you.
Like finally the baby is out.
Oh my God, it feels incredible. I mean, it's a huge mix of just joy and sadness
Hmm.
and relief, and I'm very grateful it's out and people are listening and people are connecting with it. It feels amazing.
Wow, that's amazing too. So this is a collaboration single with Olivia Rodrigo, right?
Yep.
Then
Yeah, we wrote it together.
how is the process behind it? I mean, like before, previously, like you guys have been working together too, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, how is the process behind it until like now you're working again with her? With her.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. It's she's perfect collaborator for me because not only is she obviously brilliant, but she also is a friend and someone that I feel safe with emotionally, and someone that I was super comfortable opening up to about this subject matter, which is not one that's kind of easy to talk
Mm-hmm.
about or go through. So it was awesome, and I'm grateful that she was willing to lend me her time and her skills.
And then, yeah, about the song itself, like it talks about something very personal, I think, for you. And it is something about moving on. It's not easy, something that people always say, like, it's easy to move on, but like, the reality is really hard. Like, for you to make this song, like, out of your personal life, is it something pressure do you feel?
I don't know if I feel pressure. It's almost I feel pressure, but more in an internal way of like I use kind of songwriting as this way of moving on.
Mm-hmm.
From not only romantic stuff but just feelings in general. So um, it was just something that was building up inside of me, and this song was certainly just a part of the process of
Mm-hmm.
finally trying to get past it.
Okay, that's amazing. Like, for the single itself, like how long the process to make it until it's like finished.
This one took a while because it felt so delicate as a
Mm-hmm.
feeling, and I really wanted the production and the final songwriting touches to really be representative of how much thought I gave that particular emotion, and so kind of just kept chipping away at it and going back to it for months and months, and then finally it just felt so right, and it felt so right, in fact, that it needed to be the first song that came out, and I knew that kind of once it was finished.
Wow. So out of your core team, like when it's finished, like the song is finished, like who was the first person that you asked to listen to the song? Maybe your family or your
Um,
friends.
Yeah, I think I showed it to my manager Andrew, who's one of my best friends, and he kind of right away like understood, how this song made me feel, and he agreed with me like this is the perfect jumping off point, to kind of introduce people to the new music.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's amazing. Again, from the title itself, like I can feel there's something deep with the song. Like for you to put your song into it, like the challenge itself.
Hmm.
Because usually, like as writers, we want to put everything, especially like something that you feel by yourself. Then you want
Hmm.
to like just write everything, and in the end, like you don't do anything. It's just it
Yeah.
just it just yeah, I don't know.
No, it can be overwhelming, and there were definitely parts of writing this song that felt super overwhelming. But it was nice to have, Olivia and then also Dan Nigro kind of by my side to help guide me through those emotions and
Hmm.
kind of tap into those in the most productive ways. And I'm really grateful for it because obviously we got a great song out of it, but equally important, personally, I feel like I've really grown a lot from making this song and feeling those things.
That's amazing. So about the song, like you're asking someone to hate you just to make them feel good. Sometimes this is a point of view of a girl. Like as a girl,
Hmm. Oh, I think it froze.
sometimes we try to make just to make us feel better. It's like for you, like for you from the point of view of a man, like why do you choose to just let them make you feel like a bad guy? I mean, you can just tell them like it's not because of me.
Yeah, well, I think it's hard when you kind of end something romantically with someone who you still love and really care about, and there's kind of a dissonance there. It feels like an oxymoron of like the person that you are so used to being able to help and be there for, you know, you're the one that is causing this pain and this harm, and so you can't be there for them, and so you still want them to feel comforted. And so I kind of got to a point personally where I was like, I don't even care, there's no more ego involved with this, like whatever will help you get to the point of feeling better, that's what I want you to do. But I think through writing the song, I kind of realized that for both her and I, in some ways, like hate is just it's not a very constructive emotion, and it's very short-lived in its productivity, and it helps at first, but eventually you're going to have to really face the deeper feelings and work to get over them in a different way.
Wow. That's nice. That's amazing. Again, like about moving on for you. Do you have any tips for moving on?
Tips for moving on. I think this one's super basic, but it certainly helps me, and I think it can manifest itself in multiple ways. But I think moving on is something that you can work on separately from other stuff, and it doesn't need to consume you. And you can focus on the things you can control while simultaneously chipping away at moving on. And I think another thing is something that this song, I think, at least for me, is also about, is the fact that sometimes you have to go through the hating phase to get to the moving on phase. And I think it's important to give yourself that time and that space to feel those raw emotions as much as you need to. Yeah,
it's like accepting the fact that you are currently in the state of moving on, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
Sometimes that denial phase, it's the hardest.
Yeah, but sometimes you gotta just rip through it just to feel it, and just to know that the way I feel is valid, and also feeling like this also is gonna get me through this.
Oh, awesome. And about your music video, you were the directors, right? Like why did you choose to do it by yourself? Like for the music video, you directed by yourself, right?
Oh, not by myself.
Oh, okay.
I worked with a man named Charles Melanie, who's super brilliant, and also with a creative director of mine named Stefan Coley, and we kind of just brainstormed and came up with this concept, and we wanted it visually to kind of feel the depth of it visually, to kind of represent how deep the kind of emotion of the song was, and it was also important for me to not have it be narrative. Because I wanted people to be able to watch it and to kind of impose themselves on it and then project their own lives and parallel emotions onto it. And so I just wanted it to be kind of a beautiful accompaniment of sorts.
That's a good words. So this single will become the opening of your coming up album. So I heard it will be released by the end of this year. Am I right?
Yep. I can't say when yet, but it is certainly in the works, and it is almost done, and I'm really proud of it, and I can't wait to show people kind of more of this new era and this new sound, and how I've grown as a person and as a writer and as a producer.
How are you going to describe this album in a bigger picture?
I think it's kind of like a transition period, and anthem of sorts. I think a lot of it is kind of written about this strange in between space of not being with someone, but also not being fully over that person until the very end of the album. And then that is like a huge release of like, okay, I can finally, I've explored these feelings and I've felt them to their fullest extent, and now I'm finally ready to truly move on.
Oh, okay. Can't wait for that album. And last, but what do you want to say to your fans, especially here in Bali, Indonesia?
Well, I want to say thank you for sticking with me first and foremost. I know it's been a while, longer than you probably anticipated, and certainly longer than I anticipated. But I hope you know that I took that long because I care about you so much, and I wanted to give everyone, I think, the music that they deserve, which is sometimes it's going to take a little bit longer than you
Yeah.
think. But other than that, I hope you're doing well, and I hope that I get to see you in person soon.
Okay, that's amazing.